You guys, good afternoon and welcome to Enlightened Heart Soul Connection. I'm Naoma and I've got a message for you today on May 25th, 2025. Today's a 12-day. I woke up this morning with this song verse in my head. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. I can't get enough of you, baby. Can you get enough of me? Except it was, it was playing, whatever. And I did my morning thing, and I realized that whenever I was hearing the song, I was actually hearing, instead of baby, I was hearing darling. And I knew that the song was coming to me from my dad. And one, because I'm not a huge fan of the band Kiss, never have been. That was my dad's thing. That was my ex-husband's thing. That's my current partner's thing. I just don't like them. They were more of a band from the 70s, and I was raised in the 80s and 90s, so I'm just not a big Gene Simmons fan. But my dad could have talked to you all day long about Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley. He loved them. All right, so getting into it, I wanted to know what this was all about. I immediately off the bat considered that this was a message from the higher self to the form. I got out the Beloved Dead Oracle, and I decided to do a 9-card spread. So, row 1, the first 3 cards. What's the heart? What's the present energy? And what, oh, no, that's not right. This is mind, soul, and contract. All right, so the mind. The card, first card, and I'm reading them from left to right, is act of love, as is. This is about acceptance. This is about unconditional love in its highest form. You were made for love, as is. Radical acceptance. Reminds me of that reading I did a couple of weeks back, right after I decided that I was going to stay. Accepting everything as it is. You are accepted as you are. This is the purest form of love, the true unconditional love. All right, next card. The center, the soul. This is academic. This is learning the deep lessons. Spiritual, emotional, mental. You've been gathering wisdom. You've been doing the work. You've been doing the deep spiritual work, and you're learning. You're learning what it is to be a human. And then the contract is the card chicken. This is like your south node. This is about recognizing the places where fear is holding you back from full embodiment. You were made for this. You were made for love as is, and you were made for this. All right, so now moving down into the next row, this is the heart, the present energy, and your message from your higher self. So the heart of this reading, justice, this is about karmic rebalancing. Your presence alone shifts timelines. You are the scale. The collective is a walking tower moment. You crumble foundations so that people can build new ones. The present energy is about your personality with the personality card. Ego structure you built, that ego structure that you built, you need to embrace the quirks and contradictions of yourself. Your soul's expression. Who are you when the masks fall off? Your personality is being highlighted as the present energy here. And then the message from your higher self is limelight. Stop hiding. Stop hiding your voice, your talents and gifts, your truth. Authentic visibility is your soul's path right now. Everything is truth until it's not truth. Understand that. If it comes out of your mouth and that's how you feel right now, then that's your truth. And you're human. You are allowed to change your mind. All right, coming down to the last road. The last road. This is the root, the integration, and the path forward. So at the root of all of this, we have Bohemian. You're not a follower. You don't follow rules. You carry wild wisdom. You're an artist of life, a mystic, a wanderer. You do life differently. You're not like anybody else. That's your truth. You're someone who enjoys to sit within the depths of the spirit realm and wallow in it. Now you're being asked to swim. Privilege is the integration. You're worthy of joy, of ease, and of love. You have spiritual gifts. You're spiritually favored. You have many ancestral blessings. You are chosen. You are privileged. And the way forward is the play card. Lighten up. The healing has been finished. The work's been intense, but now joy is your medicine. You need to let that inner child out because pleasure is sacred. Your higher self says, I love you as is. I know you've been afraid, but you came here to learn, to grow, to shine, to play. You don't have to earn this love. You are made for it. So was I. Let's finally merge. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the card Ouija. This is spiritual energy expressing unfulfilled love. Past or ancestral life, yearning for release, lost or fragmented as part of your higher self. Reaching out through dream, music, and symbol. The call to the spirit realm. The next card, conscientious. You're not just playing with energy, you're wearing it. You're weaving it, you're sewing it, planting it. Choose what you tune into, who you allow to influence you, and what you are invoking with your focus. You get to decide. You get to decide who takes, who gives, who participates, and who reciprocates in your life. And then there's the card Vanity. Excuse me. When I saw this card come out, I immediately thought of last night. I was researching about the Nephilim, and I had a transformation come through, and Azazel was part of the transmission, and he was the Azazel was the one who brought warfare. But there were others, and one of them taught cosmetics. And I was thinking about how we've misconstrued so many things and turned the teachings into a fear-based teaching rather than a wholeness teaching. And love is wholeness. So this Vanity card mirrors our shadow aspects. Where are you still seeking external validation for what's deeply sacred? Why are we seeking validation from anybody? We're supposed to be living our truth, regardless of what other people think. This is egoic distortion. You're being asked to remain humble, heart-centered, and rooted in your spiritual authority. This collective is being initiated between the realms. Claim your gifts with humility. Move as a clear channel. Discern which voices are truly the light. And the song, you were made for loving me, all of me. Light, shadow, joy, pain, soul, and skin. Can you get enough of this? Because I'm ready to merge. Your higher self is calling for a merger. It's saying that you've put in enough work. It's time to let me out to play. So in real life, Naomi is pretty nosy. I people watch all the time. Your higher self is asking to merge with you. It wants to come out and play, just as my dragon. Yours doesn't want to be trapped anymore. Your inner child. So I wanted to know, who is this collective? I get the cards fireman, employee, and traveler. This collective has been through deep trauma or chaos, emotional or spiritual fires in your life or lineage have needed to be put out. Your natural rescuers or protectors, people who show up for others in crisis when you have your own crisis that you need to be dealing with. You sacrifice your own needs for others to the point that you burn out. You're just so tired of fighting that you need to go somewhere and scream for 10 minutes. Just go. The unhealed wounds from trauma responses, hypervigilance, people-pleasing, avoidance, constant validation seeking. You extinguish unhealthy patterns and inherited or repeated cycles. This has been a long and winding spiritual path for you. Many phases of identity, location, and purpose have shown up in your life. And you're always questing for more. You've never been able to sit still. You're not satisfied. You don't understand why you have to keep moving. At this point in the reading, I remembered my grandfather. He could never settle. Born in West Virginia, he joined the military right out of high school, and he went to Greenland with the Air Force because he had a heart condition. I don't know if it was a murmur back then or what they called it, but he really, when he joined the Air Force, wanted to be a pilot. And they wouldn't let him, so he did his 4 years. He was in Greenland for some time, and then he came home and he stationed in Norfolk and met my grandmother. And from that moment on, because he went and he became a air traffic controller, and from that moment on, they didn't sit in one city for very long. While he was at school learning how to be an air traffic controller, he put my grandmother in West Virginia with my granny. And then it was Chicago and Buffalo and Illinois, and they lived all over the United States. And my grandfather just could never be happy, and he kept putting in requests to move jobs. This could be you. You're not afraid to leave comfort zones, even if it means walking alone for a while. You may feel in between destinations, and you're not lost. You're just becoming. You're a healer, a teacher, a consultant, possibly even a caretaker. You pour your energy into others' needs, missions, or businesses, forgetting your own soul's job description. You've been spiritually underpaid, and I'm hearing that you've even asked for a raise and never saw any results of that because you were asking for the wrong thing. You do need a divine promotion, and this is it. You're not just a light worker, you're a co-creator, a soul worker. The ones who walk through fire, not for glory, but for healing. The ones who travel far, sometimes with no clear destination, just a deep inner compass. And you don't just travel the earthly plane, you travel the stars in your sleep when you dream. You're the ones who've served loyally others, given the shirts off your backs to missions, causes, other people. It's time for you to serve your own becoming now. I had a lot going on today. Sybil kept jumping into my closet to escape the babies, so I had to do a couple things to make it safe for her to like mingle with the other dogs and be able to come in and out as she wanted to. And I channeled this message on paper probably like between 5 and 6 this morning, and then Adam had to get up at 7, which didn't leave me much time to do the recording. So he got up at 7 and had to take care of some things and before he went to work, and I couldn't just sit down to record this message then, because by 1 o'clock in the afternoon kids were awake, we had people coming over, and it started to get hectic. I finally had to lock myself in my bedroom to do this message for you guys today. So I was feeling like I was being delayed, but then I realized that this message is right on time, and it'll find the people that it needs to reach when it needs to reach it, to just continue to go with the flow. And I feel like this collective of people is feeling the same way. You guys are feeling like all of your spiritual inheritance has been delayed. And it hasn't. You're progressing exactly the way that you're supposed to be progressing. And it may have seemed slow, But that was just your spirit waiting on your teachers and your lessons to come through. You had to go through all of that to get to this point. I wanted to know more, so I pulled pulled from the energy oracle, and I got the card Man Holding a Coin. This is your support valve and stability collective. Abundance is ready to flow, health, wealth, and self-worth. This could be a wise guide or healer getting ready to enter your life. This is encouragement to take empowered action around finances, body, or your gifts and talents. And if you don't think that you have any gifts or talents, you would sadly be mistaken. You're worthy of material blessings and spiritual recognition, so face your shadow. Take full responsibility for how your shadow shows up. Which also is the next card, Face Your Shadow. Jealousy, control, fear, manipulation, self-neglect are all themes with this card. You're calling yourself into truth. Not out of punishment, but for integration. You're being invited into compassionate healing, not shame. You cannot ascend without reclaiming the parts of you that you abandoned. It's time to integrate. It's time to integrate. Saturn shifted into Aries today. Saturn is about the dark parts of ourselves. He's the ruler of karma and time. Moving out of Pisces, which is about our spirituality, and into Aries, which is about the self. So moving from the last house back to the first house. The 12th to the 1st. The starting of a new zodiac cycle for Saturn. This is the end of deep emotional and ancestral lessons and the beginning of action. The ancestral lessons, the addictions, and the mental illness, and the dogma that we have been taught, everything. Now is the time for you to step out into your truth and start speaking how you actually feel about these things. There's focus on self-leadership, courage, and sacred anger here. And I'm not talking about anger in the way that destroys, but sacred anger. Jesus walked into the temple and flipped the tables of the money changers. It's y'all's turn to become the reality breakers in your own lives. What structures support your authentic self? It's time to start asking yourselves these questions. The gift of wisdom is earned. The shadow has been faced. The soul has been strengthened. You're being invited to build from the ashes of what you have healed. The bricks you have forged in the fire. Construct a new identity, path, and mission for yourself. from your integration, not your illusion, is where you are building this path. Saturn's dropping a huge gift on all of your heads. Maybe some of you are Saturn in Aries, and this is your Saturn return. Or your Saturn in Pisces, and now you're leaving it. And the gift is a break, your true abundance. But whatever it is, this integration is your gift. And you're going to find that life gets so much easier. Happy Memorial Day. I love you guys, and have a wonderful one. Bye.